Hello.
Hello. We'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes and we'll start.
कितनी देर में चाहिए?
So hello everyone. So we'll start the section. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So hope you have gone through the lectures for the third week. So mostly in this class we'll be discussing the Pandas library and a bit about visualization using matplotlib. Let's start with Pandas. So Pandas is like the Excel, Python's version of Excel, but it has a lot more mm, uh, functions that can be used, or it is more convenient to use for data analysis and manipulations. So why we need to learn Pandas? So that is the first question. So it's mm, used by many data scientists, analysts, and engineers worldwide, mainly to handle the mm, tabular data. Then, so it handles millions of rows with ease. Then it's highly flexible, like it can work with CSV file or Excel file or SQL databases or even JSON files and more. And it is fast, like it's built on NumPy. So it's having a uh, highly computationally efficient, and it's clean and the readable syntax for complex operations. So that is like it's easy to understand. So we'll see different functions of Pandas. So what are some of the core data structures that we see in our day-to-day data science world? So we have series, which is a 1D data. So it can be a single column or row. We have seen that in our previous classes. So and then we have data frame, which is two-dimensional. That is, it's like it's a table, like it has rows and columns. So what we'll try to mm, mm, create data frames with from multiple sources. Then we'll try to learn all these things like reading, writing files, then data selection and filtering, cleaning, transformation, and yeah, all these different functions that we will do with Pandas library. So I will upload this notebook in the Google Drive, and you can watch these three videos and tutorials to have more advanced knowledge about Pandas. So let's see how we can install Pandas. So first of all, if you are using any IDs or even in Collab and all, it's already installed. So if you are using any IDs, you will have to install Pandas using pip install Pandas. Or if you are using any mini conda environment or anything, you can use conda install Pandas. And usually we'll need a NumPy and matplotlib also. So you can install everything together. All right. Okay. So the standard way or to import Pandas is PD. So import Pandas as PD. So this PD name is used universally recognized in data science community to denote Pandas. So let's see what we have here. So whenever we import Pandas, we will usually import NumPy also, so that they both go together in most of the times. So we have the Pandas framework installed, and we can see the version of the Panda that is 2.3.3, and we have the NumPy version also printed here, and we have 141 attributes and methods in the Pandas library. So if you want to see, you can see that. So let's see. So we have different kind of operations or functions inside the Panda. So all these, not all, most of them we can show today. So let's first create a data frame. So a data frame is nothing but a two-dimensional labeled data structure with columns of potentially different types. Like it's kind of like a spreadsheet or a SQL table or a dictionary of a series objects. So usually the convention is like the different features are in columns and different symbols are in rows. So row 1, row 0, row 1, row 2 will, so if it is a uh, student 1, student 2, student 3, then the columns can be marks of each of the subjects. So from what data or what data we can, or from what all data we can create data frames. So we can use the dictionaries or list can be converted into Panda data frames. Or we can also use
ஒரு காலிஃப்ளவரே வாங்கி வறுத்துருக்கலாம்.
இது அரிசி மாவு இதுல சிக்கன் கிடையாது. நாளைக்கு சிக்கன் வாங்க சொல்றா. 60%.
1 minute.
I think someone should mute here.
Yeah, I will just mute. Yeah. All right. So from NumPy arrays also we can create data frames, or we can read from different files that we have saved. So let's see. So first we will create a data frame from dictionary. So in the last class we had discussed about different sequence data types. So one was dictionary. So in dictionary we have this format. We will start with curly braces. Then we have the key and the elements or the values corresponding to the key. So in this case, the one of the key names are name, age, city, and we have the corresponding values. So once we define the dictionary, we can just create the Pandas data frame using the syntax pd.dataframe and pass the dictionary. So whatever the key names will be used as the column names. So let's see. So here you can see that the data frame we have created. So we have the name, age, city. So name, age, and city were the keys of the dictionary, and we have the corresponding values coming from each of the keys as the rows. Now we can see the shape of the dictionary using dot shape. Then we can list the columns, or if we are importing some big files, then we can use these dot columns to see what are columns are there in the data frame. And also we can see the data types of each of the columns. So if you see here, we had given the name, which was string data type. Then we have integer data types, and again we have string. So whenever the string data comes into or converted into Pandas data frame, it will be changed, or the data type will be object data type. And whenever the numerical value, the corresponding data type will be chosen. So let's try to convert one of the values into float, and we can see the numerical data type is changed into float data type. Whereas the string data type will be, or anything other than the numerical, will be considered as an object data type in Pandas data frame. So now here we have a data frame with a mixed data types. So we have numbers and strings and Boolean also, as well as a Boolean data type. So let's see the Pandas data frame created from this data. So from this data, if you see, we can see the object, integer, and Boolean data types. Then we also see there are non-null. So it means that all the columns or all the values are full. So we have one Boolean data type, then 3 integer data type, and 2 object data type. So .info will give all these. So whatever it is printed here is given by this single line of code. So df employees was our data frame, and .info will give all these informations. Now let's say, so here we have not given any row names or index for the row. So it automatically starts from 0. and it ends at 5 since it has 6 rows. So if you sorry, employee ID, no, 4 rows, sorry. So this is our data. So it's a 4x6 data frame. So we have 4 rows and 6 columns. So if we don't give any index for the rows, then it will be automatically start from 0 and it will go up to whatever the number of rows minus 1. Now, if you want to give some row names, then we can give or we can add index in the syntax pd.dataframe. We'll give our pass our dictionary and we also define the index. That is, we are giving custom index for the data. So here we have we have 4 rows. So we have laptop, mouse, keyboard, and monitor. So each of them is given like product 1, product 2, product 3, and product 4. Now we'll see how that data frames can be created from list. So when we know that lists are just a sequence of objects, and it does not have any keys and values like dictionary. So whenever we are creating a data frame from list, then it is always recommended to give the column names. All right, so here we are giving the column names A, B, C, D. So the data frame from list we are defining by pd.dataframe, and then we'll pass the list and we'll give the column names. So here we have the data frame created from the list. So when we, so one more thing that we have to notice when creating data frame from list is, so when you see the from dictionary, so this was the values of the first key. So this was the column name, and these were coming below the column. So here we have laptop, mouse, keyboard, monitor. Whereas when we are creating from list, each list inside or each items inside the list will consider as a row. So here you see 1, 2, 3, 4 is coming as 1, 2, 3, 4. Now constructing the data frame from tuples. So here also we follow the same syntax as that we have used in list. So here we have a list of tuples. So this is tuple 1, tuple 2, then we have tuple 3 and tuple 4. So we'll pass the tuples and also the column names. Now we come to the NumPy arrays. So when to use NumPy arrays to create data frame using Pandas. So when we are working with numerical data or need fast mathematical operations, we always have NumPy arrays. And there are advantages as well, like very fast for numerical operations, then efficient memory usage. And as well as we know that in last class and all, we saw how NumPy have very seamless integration with scientific Python. So first, we'll try to create a random NumPy array of size 4 rows and 3 columns. And we can create the array using the same in syntax that we have used for the list. So here we pass the array. Then we have the column names, and index is optional. So here we have XYZ are the column names, and row 1, row 2 are the indices. So this is the NumPy array that we have used to create the data frame. So here also we have to be careful that each of the rows or whatever we see then as NumPy array, it will be directly converted into a table format. So this is again creating sequential data. We have seen how to create a sequence using NumPy, like using their dot arrange function. So np.arrange 20 will give numbers from 0 to 19. Then we reshape that into 5 rows and 4 columns. And we can create the data frame. All right. So let's say what's the definition of a series. So a series is a one-dimensional labeled array capable of holding any data type. So it can be a single column from a data frame, or a labeled list or array, or it can be a Python dictionary. What we have seen till now, all those are some kind of series. Okay, so let's create a series from a list. So here is a basic series in Pandas. So till now we had created data frames. Now we are creating a series. So here we have a series or a 1D data series, or so if you go above, we had initially defined. So what was that? Yeah, series is 1D, that is single column or row, and data frames are 2D. So that's the main difference between series and data frames. So here we can while defining series, we can give the indices different names according to the length of the 1D list we are giving, and also we can define a name for the series. So if you print the series, we can see the name also listed. So from a dictionary also we can directly create the series. So whenever we are creating series from dictionary, we have to be careful that the values are just a single digit values. So not single digit, single elements. So it should not have a series or a list of elements. Now we can use the symbol indexing technique to get the elements of the series. So if you see, this is our series. So we have a world, cities, and population. So if you want to get the population of Tokyo, then we have to just pass the keyword or the index Tokyo to the series. Then we can also use a dot head function. So that will, so if you have a or if you are loading a very big data from the any CSV file or any SQL database anywhere, and we want to see if our data has loaded properly, then we can use the dot head function. So that will list, or that will give the top 3 rows of the series or the data frame. And if you use tail, it will give the last rows of the data frame. So here, if you use head 3, then we can see that from the data, we will print only the first 3 rows. And also we can give conditional statements also to print whatever we needed. So if you see in Excel, we can use if statements, like if this column is greater than another column, then print some values. Similarly, we can use in Pandas also. Inside the index list, we can give conditional statements like whether this value is equal to some value, or if this value is greater than some value, we will print only those rows. Now, how to read data from files? So now, till now, we were discussing how to create data frames from a list or a dictionary or a NumPy series. Now we have in most of the cases, we will be having data stored as a CSV file or XON or JSON or SQL or any of this format. And how do we read these data in the Pandas framework? So one of the Pandas greatest strength is also this, so that it can handle data from various file formats. So in real world cases, like in data analysis, typically starts with loading external data. So it's all automated process that the data is being returned to some file like CSV file. So it's very important that to study how to read data from external file. So as a practice, so all these data will be having a huge number of rows or a large number of columns and rows. So it's always we have to always check the first few rows after we read the files or import the files using Pandas framework, and we have to see if the data that we have loaded is the correct is in the correct format. Then we have to handle some missing values. So in many cases, whenever we are doing manual entering the data, or in many cases, in many data entering jobs and all, there can be some values missing when we enter the data. So all those missing values has to be handled properly by using different techniques. And then there can be different characters which are not recognizable by the Pandas framework. So we have to encode those things properly, and we have to specify the correct data type. So in many cases, if you are using float data type, where the date is for the date, if you are using float data type, it's a waste of memory. So we just need integer data type to specify the date. So so this is the syntax to read the CSV data. So we have to pd.read CSV, and always we have to use the or give the file name, including the path to the file inside the braces, and we can define parameters. So what are the commonly used parameters in while reading CSV file? So we can use which separator is used in the CSV file. It can be a space or comma or dot that we have to specify. If nothing is specified, then it will consider the default separator is a comma. Then we can also specify the header row. So we have to give a row number to use as the column names. Similarly, the index columns also we have to define. Then we can also specify the column numbers that we have to read, or column names we have to read. Then the data types for different columns can also be passed. All right, so we'll see one by one. So this is how we can read the data. So first, let us create a CSV file. So we are just creating a CSV file. So we have created the file. So where is it? So df CSV is the CSV file that we have. No, this is the CSV file, CSV data. Sorry. So here we have name, age, department, salary. So that is the first line, which are separated by comma. Then we have the first sample or first data, that is aged 28, department engineering, salary 75,000. And then we have similarly we have data for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 employees data we have. Now we are reading the CSV, pd.read CSV, and passing the CSV file into the Pandas framework. So here we have the framework defined. So data frame from CSV, the df CSV is printed here. So since we have not mentioned any header row or column, it will take the first row as the header row. Now let us create one more CSV file. So here we have a little more details, like we have the ID, then first name, last name, email, salary, and join date. So here we are creating again using the same syntax, read CSV, and we are giving the, or we are passing the index column, that is the ID, and we want to pass the data time, date time. So let's see how this affects. Then we have use the columns. So we are using all the columns mentioned here. So except the email column, every other column is selected, right? So let's see what it gives. So here we have the IDs specifically listed to index. Then we have the first name,
Sir,
last name.
have you started the data science for Python, sir?
This is all data science for Python. So like
Okay, sir.
yeah. So by a data science for Python, what do you expect to be specific? All right. So if you see this Pandas data frame, we can see that only the columns that we have listed is used to create the data frame.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
From where we can access this material?
What?
From where we can access this material?
In the mail, they do share it, right? Like the link to the drive. Did anybody received the link to the drive? I think the NPTEL team usually sent the mail
No, sir. Previous class link were not sent to Drive.
They didn't send, but I received it. When I have subscribed to the course, so they had sent the link to access the drive and the YouTube channel.
Okay, sir. Okay. Sir,
Sir,
okay.
there
In
is
this,
link, but in this only the only material of the videos, not this one.
Okay.
Sir, could you share this file or the drive link?
All right. I will share the drive link at the. So let me see. 1 minute.
Sir, but I too didn't got the link, sir.
Okay. So let me just see it. But even if I send the link, this is the link. So I don't know if you can. Maybe you can just take a screenshot and later use some Google Lens or something to open it.
So you can put it in the chat box for us.
But I think the chat won't be visible to you because in Teams, I'm not sure if the chat works properly.
So last it
This
was
issue.
when sir was taking, like yesterday we had a class, it was visible and we could interact through the chat also.
Okay, I have pasted it. Can you see it? The chat? Is it visible for you?
No
No,
chat,
sir.
we cannot see.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah, that some issue with maybe it I have to change some settings or yeah.
Sir, yesterday's class was not taken. Why, sir?
Yesterday's class. I'm not taking yesterday's class. So
Saturday's class was postponed to Monday.
okay.
So, but we
I'm
waited for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, but no faculty came. No class was being taken yesterday.
The class happened, but it was on a different link, which had come
okay.
to us in the mail. I was also
Okay.
waiting in this, but then
Oh, in this link.
no, sir, not this link. There was
Okay.
another link. I mean, I just checked my inbox and then I clicked on that link and then I saw servers taking.
Okay, fine. So for time being, you can just take a screenshot and access this. Maybe I'm not able to provide it on chat. Sorry. I will for the next class. I will try to solve that issue. All right. For chat. I think there is no option for chat. All right. So if you have noted this link, I will continue. All right. It's more visible. You can take a screenshot and you can access it. All right, so let's continue.
हेलो गुड इवनिंग सर।
Yes.
सर अभी थोड़ा सा लेट ज्वाइन किया हूँ, थोड़ा सा प्लीज एक्सप्लेन करेंगे बिफोर पार्ट थोड़ा प्लीज।
No, we have
मेरा ज्वाइन
not discussed too much. So we are just trying to create data frames. So initially we discussed about creating data frames from dictionary list and all, and then we moved to creating data frames from CSV files by reading different kinds of files. That's it. Anyway, this recording will be available. I will share it.
Okay.
Right.
The same things are available on the NPTEL videos also, sir.
Yeah, and NPTEL videos also, I think they are discussing Pandas frameworks, but
Okay, sir.
not from a notebook. They have discussed it. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So once the data frames are created and we have done our operations in the data frame, we can, after processing the data, we want to save it. So we can save it into different formats by needed by the end user. So it can be a CSV format. So we just have to use the correct syntax. So if you want to save it as CSV format, you have to use to CSV, or in Excel format we can use to Excel to JSON, etc. So in corresponding format, the file will be saved. So again, let's create a data frame from dictionary. So we have already seen this data frame.
Sir,
So this is, yes,
sir, here what IO represents, sir? From
it's
IO
input.
input.
So it's
Input
actually not needed. Yeah, it's only for demonstrating string operations. It's
Okay,
not
actually it represents input output. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
So this is the data frame we have. So we are creating a data frame from dictionary. So we are creating data frame from dictionary, and we are creating, or we are exporting it into a CSV file. So let's see if the CSV has been created. So let's export to CSV. Then let's define some file name, product.csv. So if you see our file structure, so we don't have any CSV here. So now we are trying to create. So here we see that the product.csv is created. So this is the CSV file that is newly created. So if you don't give any file name here, so it will export the CSV in the memory or in the RAM. The CSV file will be there, but it will not be saved as a CSV file. So if you want to access the file in the file explorer or somewhere, then you have to save it with a product name. File name. Similarly, the JSON file also, if you need, we will have to save with the product file name, or else it will be in the memory. So here is the JSON output. So now some basic data frame operations that are used after reading a data frame file or a CSV file or anything using Pandas. So tail is to view the first few rows. Then head is to view the first few rows, and tail is for the last rows. Then info will summarize the data frame. Then describe will give the statistical summary like the mean, variance, all those things. Then we have the shape, so to get the number of columns and number of rows. Then dot columns will
Sir,
give.
I have a doubt, sir.
Yes.
Sir, like CSV represents comma separated value files. So as like that, JSON represents.
JSON represents JSON format. So JSON format is like it starts with a list, and so here if you see, so here we have the product, right? So product is laptop, mouse, keyboard. Then for each of these product, we have the corresponding price and stock. So when we convert that to JSON file, we'll have or we'll be splitting this in like for laptop the price stock, and mouse price and mouse stock. So if you look at the JSON file, it's just in another format, right? So how can we say?
Like keys to value pairs dictionary.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
But
So
the dictionary inside a list format. Like inside a list, a dictionary with keys to value pairs.
We cannot directly say this JSON is a dictionary. So JSON is a different format itself. So JSON is mainly used for to save the or whenever in web applications and all. So the JSON stands for, I think, some JavaScript, some JavaScript object file notation or something. Okay.
Object notation.
So that is JSON stands for. So it's kind of like a. So if you, as you can see that it's a different structure altogether. So you have the curly braces and inside a list. So this curly braces define the objects, and we have a list. So yeah. So it's it should be a different format. You can search in internet for more info. All right, so we have shape, columns, index, and data types. So let's try to see each of that, or let's see what these do. So here we are creating a sample data frame. From a dictionary, we have different so while creating the data, we have the columns: date, product, quantity, price, region, and customer type. Now we are adding a different column, revenue. So revenue is nothing but the number of quantity into the price of one quantity, and we are rounding off to 2. So we are adding a new column to the data frame. Now we are let's view the first few rows and last few rows of the column. So if you see here, we have the shape 100,7. That means this data frame have 100 rows and 7 columns. So the first 5 rows we have listed. So it's date, product, and then the last column defines last column gives the revenue. That is a quantity into price. So this is the first 5 rows. Then if you give, so by default, it will give the 5 rows. So if you don't give any values, and if you need to see more number of rows, we can give some value number in the head function. Similarly, we have the tail as well. So last 3 rows we have printed here, or we can print the last 5 rows if you are not giving any parameters inside the tail. All right. Now let's see the info of the data frame that we have created. So info shows the column names.
Sir,
Then
is there any data frame already available in that JSON file? Like, for example, in structured query language, we have the data, like in the table already inbuilt in that, we will access that table, right, sir? In structured query language, as like that, some table will be there in JSON, or
I'm
we need
not
to
aware
create
of anything.
the.
Actually, I'm not aware of that. I cannot give you an answer. Maybe I will have to search Google for that. You can search for it, or else I will discuss it later. Even
Okay.
I don't usually work or access any JSON data. I usually work with any CSV file or DAT file or so on. So it's very difficult to answer that, or I cannot give a correct answer even if I answer something. All right. So the dot info will give the number of rows, columns, or the column names. Then non-null counts means it will help us to identify missing data. Then data types and memory usage. So here, since you have created the column, so since we have created and we have all the columns or all the data entered, so we don't have any missing items, and it correctly identifies the data type. Now the statistical summary. So statistical summary will give the number of count, then mean, standard deviation, minimum value, maximum value, and different quartile values. So let's see. So over here we have the number of count means number of rows. So for the date, the mean is something here. So I don't know where it is started. It started from 1st of January and it ended on. So I don't know which format it is following. So it's 409. So we'll have to see. So okay, so this is date. 19th is date. So it's 9th of April. So the mean is somewhere 19th of February. Similarly, for other data also, we have the minimum, maximum, and different quartiles and other values. Now, if you are including the all columns, then we know that the object data types will not have or will not give a satisfactory results for these quantities like mean, minimum, or all those quantities which are specifically defined for numerical data types. And we have other column, so unique elements. So in the product, when we were defining or when we created the data frame, we had given the product as a laptop, phone, tablet, and headphone. That is, we had 4 different items. So when we passed the describe and included all the columns, we can see that the unique elements in product is 4, whereas the unique elements are not defined for the quantity or price, because those are more of like varying values. So it can vary from maybe from 0 to 100, and it can take any value between 0 to 100. Whereas the object data types, usually they are repetitive in nature. So it may be like the month, and so in this case, the product or the region, everything is repetitive in nature. We can also take the only the object data types and give pass the object data types to describe, so that we will have the unique attributes of the categorical data types. So object data types are usually called as categorical, and other these numerical are called numerical data types. Okay, so this all we have discussed. So these are the column names, then index. So these are the different data types that we that are present in the data frame that is defined. Right. Now let's see how to sort the values using the data frame. So here we use sort values function. Then we have to give the what or based on which column we have to sort the values. So here we are sorting based on the revenue column. Now, if you want to sort it in descending value, we have to pass the ascending is equal to false. By default, it will be in ascending order. So the revenue starts from the highest to lowest, whereas in here, the revenue starts from the lowest to highest. And we can sort 2 columns. So based on the region and based on the revenue. So what it does is, so here we are giving, we have to do the region column. The region column we have to do in ascending order, and revenue is to be done in descending order. That is, first we will sort the region. So here if you see, so we have east, west, north, and south. So the region east comes first, then the revenue in the east region will be sorted. All right, so if you see, let's say, so if you see here, the last column or the last few rows are west. So west or west comes last in the order, like east, north, south, then comes west, and the revenue in the west region is sorted in a descending order. All right. Now we'll see how to select data in a data frame. So just like the slicing operations that we have used in what list and different sequence data structures we can use in Pandas data frame also. So if you want to just get a single column, we can just pass the column name, then multiple columns, we can pass the list of the multiple columns. Then we can slice the rows, or we can give the row number and column number to get a single element. Then we have conditional formatting, that is but like to filter by some values. So difference between this loc and iloc is that if you are using loc, we have to use the correct row name and column name. Whereas if you are using iloc, we will have to pass the indices or the row and column integer values. So let's see. So here we have selected the product columns. So we will the product column data frame can be will only have the items in the column product. So this is one way of getting the column, or we can use the dot function. So one thing to note if you are using dot function is like the column name should not have any space or special characters, right? So this is how we select multiple columns. So we just need to pass the list of columns, column names. Now selecting the rows and columns based on their indices. So here we use iloc function. So if you give iloc is equal to 0, then it will print the entire row. So this is the 0th row. So this is a date, product, quantity, price, region, and your revenue. It will print. We can also do the slice. So here we are printing the first 5 rows and so we are printing the first 5 rows and the first 3 columns. So here using the slicing or by giving the indices, like some 0 to 5 and 0 to 3, we can get, or we can select the first 5 rows and first 3 columns. So here we are printing again the first column, first row, and here the first 4 or the rows 0 to 5 and the specific columns using the name. So you can see how iloc and loc is different. So when using iloc, we have to give the integers representing the column number or the row number. Whereas when we are using log, we have to give the correct column name or the index values. So at or I at is used to get a single value. So here we have what is, so it's like what is at the 0th row under the product column. So it will give the value. Now this is a conditional operation. So we want to find, or we want to sort the, or we want to filter the values based on some condition. So here the sales data is given. So sales data. We want to see which all rows have revenue greater than 5,000. So from the sales data, we are selecting the column and we are using the conditional statement to filter the values in the pandas. So if you want only the laptop values, or if you want to know the revenue of a specific product, then we can give this syntax. So here we are saying from the product column, select only with laptops, and from the revenue we are selecting those rows with revenue greater than 5,000. So we'll get the correspondingly the data will be filtered. Or also we can use the or to get multiple categorical values. So it can be like sales region south and north and south, or it can be like revenue greater than 10,000 or revenue less than 5,000. So all those conditions can be passed. Right, then so the same can be used. So eSyn function can also be used to sort. So for eSyn, and if you pass the list, so the pandas will check under the product column if the values is equal to laptop or phone, and all those will be selected. Now we can also select. So if you don't want to show the product headphones, then we can simply pass this not symbol before the Boolean operation. So what it does is, so what this one does is, it will select, or it will create a new sequence with true and false. So wherever the headphone comes under the product column, it will be true, and all other areas it will be false. And this not sign will invert that true and false, so that all the true which were corresponding to the headphones will be false, and all other false will become true. So this is we are trying to filter using high values, retaining customers in north and south. So here we want the revenue to be greater than 3,000, then customer type to be returning, and the region has to be in north or south. Now in any data frame, we can simply add the columns by using this syntax. Like we just need to use the square brackets, and inside we have to define the column name. So if you give a value, so if you are not giving any series or sequence values, it will, if you are giving one individual value, then all the column elements will have the same value. So here we can see the discount is, all the values in the discount is 0.1. And then we can use conditional column creation, that is like use a new column is created, size. So the revenue, and we are applying lambda x. So it will be large if x is greater than 3000, else we will return the value small. Now, if you don't want some columns in your final data frame, you can use the drop function and give the names of the columns that you want to drop from the data frame. So df manage. Okay, so in the final data, clean data, we don't see the discount and final price columns. So those two columns has been removed. Now in the final output, if you want to rename any data or rename any columns, then we can use the dot rename function. Then we can define the column name, correct column name, and the new column name. Now, if you want to, so in many cases, we'll need to group or find the sum of, so in our example, so if you want to find the sum or revenue of all the laptops or phones or headphones individually, then we can use the group by function. So what it does is it will group the group by, and if we give the product, so it will create a group of the different products and will use the revenue of those products and will add. So only the revenues corresponding to an individual product will be added and will be passed in the final data frame. So again, let's see. So here we are giving the total sum, then average, mean, then we want to count and maximum. So what we are doing is, first we are grouping the product, then and the revenue column is used to calculate the total using the sum function, then average by mean, then we have a count by count function, and maximum is found by max. So what in the end we'll have four columns, that is total, average, count, and max. So yeah, if you see here and here, we can see the total is matching. So we had earlier we had used the dot sum, and now we have used the sum to calculate the total. Now here we see, first we are grouping the product, then we are grouping it again by the region and calculating the revenue. We can also create a pivot table to do the function. So do the grouping. So here we have the values are the revenue, then based on what index, that is the product, and then we need the region as well. Then so what it does is, so here we have a pivot table of products in the index column, or as the rows, and we have the region as the columns. Now we will see how to handle the missing data. So whenever we read the CSV file or something, if there is any missing data, it will be represented as NaN, which is not a number. So some common causes for this to happen is there can be cases like the data is not collected properly, or there can be data corruption, or joining or merging data set issues, or maybe some invalid entries. So if our data is huge and we have a lot of data, then maybe we can remove those rows and columns, and if you don't want to consider any invalid entry, or we can fill with some default values, or we can interpolate. So if it's a numerical kind of data asset, we can interpolate based on other values, and we can use maybe we can use adjacent or a backward fill, with backward fill or forward fill, which is like a filling with the adjacent values. So first, let us define a data frame having the NaN values. So this is our data. So let's print the df. So here you see we have 4 non-null rows. So is that correct? 2, 3, 4. Yes, that's correct. So, and in case of B, we have only 3. So B, we have only 1, 2, 3, and 5, we have 5. And C, we have 5 non-null rows. So in order to quickly check if there is any null values or not, we can use the isNull command. So if you see isNull, then it will say that if a value is missing or if a value is a NaN, then it will give true. Otherwise, it will be false. Then dot sum will give the missing values per column, or if you want the entire sum of the non-null values, we can use dot sum and again a dot sum. So it will add the column wise null values and will add the total null values. So one thing we can do is we can drop all the NaN values. So using drop NA function, or just fill the NaN values with some zeros or any specific values. So here we are filling with zeros. Now, if you want to fill NaN with mean, we can use the df underscore missing dot mean function, so that the missing values will be filled with the mean of the column. Then we can use the forward fill or backward fill. So in the forward fill, it will use the values just before that, or in backward fill, it will use the value after that. So that comes the end of the Pandas notebook. So some key takeaways are like we will always use import Pandas as PD, and then we will use head info describe to analyze your data after loading. Then indexing and filtering, you will use the Boolean indexing. Then we can group by missing, and group by is used if you want to calculate aggregate analysis. Then we also saw missing data, how to handle that. All right. Then yeah. So now we will move on to data visualization. So before that, I will take a 2-3 minutes break. I will be back by 7:23. All right, let's continue. So in matplotlib is the widely used plotting library to visualize different data. Like we can plot line plots, bar plots, histograms, scatter plots, and different kinds of visualizations can be done using matplotlib. So first we can install the matplotlib using pip install matplotlib. Then yeah. So in by convention, matplotlib is imported as import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. So the pyplot is the class that provides us with functions which can be directly used to create the plots. So if you want to create a simple plot like this, we just need to define it, or the code is as simple as shown above. So we have the data. A is a list of data. So we have 10, 12, 13, 5 elements. And we just need to use plt.plot and give the list. So let's see if I have installed matplotlib. All right. So we are importing NumPy and matplotlib. Then x is 0 to 1. And we are creating an array of 0 to 1 having 100 elements. Then y is equal to k square or x square. So we are what we are trying to do is we are trying to plot x square. So here the x-axis will be 0 to 1, then y will be x square. So it's kind of not clear. We'll 10. Still it's okay. So when it is 0 to 10, so x is clear. 0 to 10 we have the x, and in y goes from 0 to 100. So if you just pass some values, then the matplotlib, what it does is it will count the number of values and will assign 0 to whatever the number is there as the x-axis values. All right. So but if you are giving x and y, then both the x and y should have the same number of elements. So if you are giving only up to 80 elements, then it will give you an error saying that x and y should have the same matching shapes or elements. So if you are just passing y, so if you are not passing any x, it will give the values. So in here, what happens is it has 80 number of elements. So naturally the x-axis will take values from 0 to 79, and we need not explicitly give any x-axis values. So if you are giving x and y, then the first part will be taken as the x-axis value and the y will be taken as the y-axis value. So here we can also plot like the strings. So here we have we are converting a string into list. Then we are plotting lyric. Then we can improve the readability of the plots by using title, legend, text label, grid, etc. So the title will give the. So let's go. So here we are giving the title sample title, and we can define different attributes of the title inside a dictionary. So then we have the legend. So legend is used. So if we are plotting multiple plots in a single plot, so let's say it overlapped. All right, so here we have two plots. It's looking exactly same. Okay. So here we have two plots. So in many cases, if you are giving two plots, it will be difficult to see which plot is which. So what? So legend is used to add legend to given plot or label the plots. So inside the legend, we can give the location. Different locations are here, so we can, based on the number, we can select the locations. Or if you are not passing anything, it will give, or it will select the best location. Then we can use different markers. So we have point or pixel, then circle, triangle up, triangle down, etc. Then label is given to identify the plot. Then line width will give the width for the line, and also we can change the color of the plots.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, will you share this notes with us? Or
Yeah. Actually, I am uploading everything into a Google Drive, and
okay,
I
sir,
think
but
that
sir, the link is actually not in editing mode, so not in copy mode. So how it is possible, sir?
which link? The link that I gave.
This the Google Drive link where will you will share, because of there is a chat is a chatbot is so disabled.
Can you just take the screenshot of that? Then you can type it, or you can use the Google Lens to read it and paste it. Can you do
So
that?
Google
If
Drive. Actually, this is an matplotlib pyplot. Where is the Google Drive link? So
I will upload this. I haven't uploaded this yet, but I will upload it into the Google Drive. That's fine.
Sir, there is a Google Sheet where you are logged in as of now. So you can upload the link, I mean this drive link there for us. I
I
mean,
have
if you don't
already the Drive link is
where we can see,
so. Do you have access to that Excel sheet?
yes, we have,
So
because it is shared with us under the, I'll tell you the tab, problem solving session recording. So there is this, yeah, so there is this column, the second column, which is saying YouTube link. the one after that presentation folder link, if you can just share it there after the class, then we can access.
But I have already pasted it there. Presentation folder link.
Okay, so it is basically for this class, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. I thought since the class is progressing, so might be later. There is one link which is visible, sir. Thank you.
No, you go inside that link, then there will be week 1, week 2, week 3. So these notebooks I will upload in week 3.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right. All right. So here he have different colors, then line style, etc. So let's plot and see how different things look. So here we are trying to plot the temperature. So these are the list of the temperature. So we'll define the figure size 6,4, which means it will have 6 inches into 4 inches. So it's 600 into 400 pixels. That is DPI stands for dots per inch. That you can define. So higher it goes, higher clarity we get. So then we define the dictionary values. The font size is 16. Font weight is normal. Color is K stands for black. Then vertical alignment is baseline. Horizontal alignment is center. So we are plotting the temperature. Then color is given as green. The marker is 0. Line style is dashed. Line width is 2. Then marker size is 12. Then we are labeling it as Delhi. And marker edge color is black. So if you plot this, this is what we are going to get. Now let's see how. So we have two different values. So one for Bangalore, one for Delhi. Same temperatures. We'll use the same figure size. And here we are changing the color to blue. Right. So now we can see the two plots are in the same figure. And additionally, we have added the X label for the X-axis and label for the Y-axis. Then we have the title and the legend we have shifted to outside. So if you had not mentioned any values, so if you don't mention any values, it will try to adjust at the best location. Now, so here we are plotting again. So let's say, so.
Sir, can we work these codes in PyCharm itself, sir? Or in Python ideally, PyCharm itself, we can work these codes.
Which one?
Like, we can use to run these codes in PyCharm.
Yeah, you can use PyCharm or PyCharm you can use, or you can upload these codes into a Google Colab also. Anything is fine.
Oh, okay, sir.
So if you want to rotate your axis or the rotate your X-axis or Y-axis ticks, then we can use the index or the pass rotate and the cursor. All right. Then sometimes we will have to limit our columns or the limits. So if you want to show only up to 0.6, dot ylim and 0.6. So it will start from 0.6. If you want to start from 0, you can pass the 0, 0, and it will end at 0.6. Similarly, we can use it for limiting the x-axis also. So now let's see how to plot bar chart. So here we have x-axis is the batsman, then y-axis is the number of centuries each batsman has scored. I don't know if these are the recent figures or the old figures. So Sachin has 100, and so this is how it looks. So we just need to use plt.bar. So in this case, if you see below, or maybe so below 60 or something, we don't have any variations. So we can just see the variation to see or to highlight the variations, limit the y-axis, and to see clearly the variation. So here again we have added a limit of 0 to 45. So so if you see this example, we had used very lengthy statement here. So we had, so let's see. So we had given the color, then marker style, then line style, etc. So all these can be combined together. Right? So how it can combine is, so first, so if you see this, the first digit or first digit place is the marker style, then comes the color, then comes the line style. All right, so let's see. So we have the circle marker, blue color, then hyphen is for line. So if you use a double hyphen, we can see the dashed line. Or if you want dots, then we can use colon. And if you want to change the color, you can just change it by using the color chart. What about the colors? So here is the characters that we use for different colors. So blue is by B, and yeah, almost all are same, whereas black we use K. And here are the short notation for different lines. So we have solid line, double dash line, and dash dot lines, and dotted line. These are for the markers. Dot, comma, circle, and triangles. We have a wide variety plus everything is there. So for the entire library, you can just go to the matplotlib markers. All right. So whenever we are working with mathematical notations and all, we might need to use LaTeX for notations in the plot. So for that, first we will have to install the this package, that is text live LaTeX extra, or this command. Then we can use the LaTeX format by using this R symbol. So let's say, so here if you see, like on the y-axis, we are using f of x is equal to y square. So for that, first we have to give this R, and then we have to use the $sign, whatever comes inside the dollar sign will be formatted in or will be formatted into a mathematical format. So let's
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, will you upload the recording of this lecture on YouTube?
Yeah, I will.
Sir, on which channel?
It's also in the same Excel sheet, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir, the link
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah,
I mean,
fine.
as you were saying, the link is there. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. So here we are reading a file. So this is a file that I have in Drive. And let's see. So this is, I think it's a cricket data, old data, I think. So let's see some, let's do some visualization using that. So we are adding 3 columns or wins, teams, and man of the match. Let's see bar plot. So here we are plotting the teams and wins using a bar plot. And so why we have to do the rotation is because, so if you don't do that, so you can see the x-axis is not readable. So in such cases, we have to rotate our indices or labels in the x or y axis. So here you have to exercise. So I won't do that. So you can try it. All right. In the I will upload this notebook, and you can try it yourself. Right. So here, so this one I will remove all the outputs and I will upload it. So yeah. Now we have a scatter plot. So scatter plot is nothing but it will take one x and one y value, and it will give a scatter plot. So if you see this, the scatter plots are like the grade range is 10, 20, 30. So girls grades and boys grades. Girls grades are in red and boys are in blue. So this point corresponds to 1089, and the second one is 2090. Similarly for boys it is 1030 and 2030 or something 2029. So scatter plots take one x value and one y value and plot a point there. There will be no lines connecting that. Histogram we have already seen. All right. So bar plot we have seen. Histogram we have not seen. So histogram is like so if you have a column of data, and histogram will give the count of individual, or so let's say in one column we have 4 apples, 3 bananas, 2 oranges. Then if you plot the histogram, it will give 4 apples and 3 bananas and so on. So if you see here, this is like the man of the match for the entire IPL season, I think. So we are plotting the man of the match for entire IPL season. So the highest one is Yuvraj with 134 shared with SPD Smith. Then we have Lyon, Maxwell, Jadhav, etc. So this is very not readable. in format. So let's try to. So what your exercise is like, you have to create this output. So you have to clean up the histogram such that only top 5 man of the match candidates are shown and they are in sorted order. So you are asked not to use Python Pandas library. So just use the NumPy and do it. All right. So don't look at the solution now. So we have the solution here. So first you try to do it and then you can do it. Then condor plots are plots like it's used to plot a function value based on x and y. So here the z is the function. So it's a function like f of xy is equal to square root of x square plus y square. So the contour plot will give something a colorful plot which will give values based on the x and y, the function values. So if x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, x square plus y square is 0, so it's 0. So the color bar will define the values of the different colors in the contour plot. Then we have pie chart. Pie chart is also very easy to plot. So we have to just give the so here I think we are giving the top 5 man of the matches, and we are giving the label as player or the 5 player names. And we have one more exercise. You can read the question and try it out. All right. So these are some additional details about matplotlib that is readable for you. All right. Then one important functionality of matplotlib is we can create subplots. So in a single figure, we can create multiple plots here. So here we are trying to create a 2 into 2 grid. So there will be 4 plots. So let's see. So we have first we have to define the plots. So define the subplot. Pick comma x. So x defines the, or it's a short form for axis. And so if you want to put the first plot, so this, so here we have row and column. So this is 0 0, this is 0 1, this is 0 0, this is 0 1, then this is 1 0, and this is 1 1. So it is like first column, first row, first column, right? So the numbering is such that, so this is the first column, first row, first column. This is first row, second column, and so on. So we can define the plots in different columns or different rows based on the numbers. All right. So we can also plot different kinds of bar plots and all. So this is just for reference. You can just read it and try it out. Then we have different parameters which can be used to define different styles, like the use of latex. Then the fonts can be changed. Then set the label size to be, or the in all the plots set the same label size, font size, etc. All right. Then we can change the, so let's see. So by default, the colors are like blue, orange, and green. So that is the default matplotlib colors. It will come. So if you are to plot only first one figure, then it will be in blue. And if you are to plot two figures, then it will come blue, orange. And the third one, if you draw, it will be in green, and so on. And if you plot again, I think it will be red or something. So if you want to change that, we can use the cycler, and you have to change the prop cycle into the colors, list of the colors that we want. So if you change it, right, yeah, the color, now the first figure will be dark blue, and the second will be red, green, yellow, and so on. So here is one more example of using different parameters. So here the font is changed, then font size is changed. Then what? Cycler color like the dark blue. So we are not using any cycler. No. Okay. We are even if we use the cycler, if we define the colors, it will it will be considered rather than the cycling. So if you are not using any colors, then it will take some time. So if you don't use any colors, then by default, the whatever cycler we have defined, it will be used. All right. And this is animation, so it will not be useful in, it will not be used in your exams, and it won't be coming, but still you can have a read about that. All right, so that's more about matplotlib. I will upload one more data visualization notebook. It has a little more detailed visualization. So it's a self-explanatory notebook. You can try it out. So it's usually more good to see or to practice different plots. All right. So box plot is an important topic. So it's like the minimum, maximum, and the wherever the mean comes, and the maximum of elements will be occupied, it will be shown like this. All right, then we have violin plot. So violin plot is kind of same as box plot, but it is kind of like a normal Gaussian distribution being plotted. All right, you can use the notebook and try it out. All right, so if you don't have any more questions, we'll wind up today's section. All right, I'll try to upload these files today itself, and you can try it out. All right, so did it get plotted? Yeah. So in here you can see that since I removed the black, so the first plot took the dark blue color, and for the second color it is still the blue which we have defined. All right, so thank you. If you don't have any doubt, we'll end this section. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Nandri, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.